Yeah, it's interesting to read the statement from Homeland Security, Tim. It is a shocking video if you watch it. I don't know if this is something that we can get our eyes on here, but it's not just that he was removed from the room and being pushed by a couple of men in plain clothes. We don't know exactly what authority they had to remove him, but he was brought outside of the room after identifying himself as a senator, saying that he had questions for Secretary Noem, forced to the ground, rolled over on his belly, and handcuffed. We know since then that he has met with the secretary. Apparently, she brought him into a room for a 15-minute conversation. It is unclear exactly what they discussed. But yeah, the statement from Homeland Security says Senator Padilla chose disrespectful political theater, interrupted a live press conference without identifying himself or having his Senate security pin on as he lunged towards Secretary Noem. We don't see evidence of lunging in that video. We also do hear him identify himself, so the statement is a bit curious at this time.
That's a really good point.
Democrats are outraged right now. If you watch what's happening on the Senate floor, they're moving into the chamber to protest what took place. Senator Booker, I should say, along with others, including Adam Schiff, are speaking live on the floor in protest here. We heard from Chuck Schumer as well, saying it made him sick to his stomach.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to see. We're trying to get that video up for everyone who is watching on Bloomberg, on YouTube, and on Bloomberg Originals. In the meantime, Joe, I mean, what has been the information flow, the conversations between officials of that state, of the city of Los Angeles, and federal officials of the Trump administration?
Yeah, here we go with this video. If you're with us on Bloomberg TV or on YouTube, it's not easy to watch this, and I'm not sure we've ever seen anything like this for a United States senator. This is a small club in Washington, D.C., and I would not be surprised to hear Republican senators expressing some outrage over this as well, because they do tend to look out for each other. Communication between state officials in California and at least the administration, Carol, really hard to quantify. I mean, we've heard the governor, Gavin Newsom, and Donald Trump, president of the United States, arguing about whether and when they even spoke on the phone. So I think that's part of the issue here that California has, is that the administration is simply acting unilaterally and not in concert with the state government or certainly the city government. This again happened in Los Angeles, where we've got a curfew in place now and a White House that's taken a lot of credit for what the president says is avoiding the destruction of Los Angeles, knowing that the protests were held to a pretty small area of the city.
Joe, I'm not sure if I'm making a bad assumption here. I mean, he was handcuffed as he tried to confront Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem as she was briefing reporters on what is going on in terms of the immigration crackdown in L.A. Was he charged with anything, or is there anything? It was just a case of removing him. No, it doesn't look like he was arrested. Okay.
Yeah, he was detained briefly. This could have been 10 minutes, Carol, 15 minutes. That's unknown, because it was shortly after that he found himself in a room with Kristi Noem, who we're looking at there. What they discussed is unclear. Homeland Security is clearly trying to cover itself here. Senator Padilla's office did issue a statement, by the way, that we should notice. He said that he was in the federal building to receive a briefing and was listening to Secretary Noem's news conference. He tried to ask a question and was forcibly removed by federal agents, forced to the ground and handcuffed. He is not currently detained, and we are working to get additional information. I would expect a very big round of interviews from the senator once he's ready.
If you're watching on YouTube or Bloomberg Originals right now, the video that we have cuts off as soon as he's escorted out, but another video that's embedded in the Bloomberg News story on the terminal and at Bloomberg.com shows him taken into a hallway and actually being held down on his belly, as you mentioned, Joe. It appears to have two FBI members of people wearing bulletproof vests. I see a badge, I see a gun, I see two uniformed folks holding him down and handcuffing him, one of whom says has a vest that says FBI on the back of it.
That's the first time we saw credentials, Tim. You're right. Once he got into the hallway, where I suspect uniformed officers were standing by for security, whether it was her staff, private security, or just plainclothes officers in the room starting the shoving is one thing we have yet to learn.
Joe, you've been following U.S. politics for a long time. I mean, we have certainly seen stress points in this country, but to see something like this, I'm not quite sure how to put it into perspective.
That's for sure. It feels like a real breakdown right now. And of course, this follows a weekend of violence on the streets of Los Angeles that brought us to this moment right now, but also just a lot of very contentious rhetoric coming out of the nation's capital here. And we're on the eve of a big military parade here in the city of Washington that has a lot of people talking about the optics, the contrast between what we're seeing in Los Angeles and here in Washington, D.C. This is a difficult time to be in the political business here. And we talk to a lot of lawmakers every day who acknowledge this. This just went up a notch, maybe a couple notches. When lawmakers talk about lowering the temperature, well, it keeps getting higher. And we're seeing this play out on the Senate floor right now. We know for a fact that the Congressional Hispanic Caucus is marching to Speaker Johnson's office right now. And this is something that's happening before our eyes. People are going to get out of work at 5 o'clock when you guys are coming off the air and we're doing our late edition of Balance of Power. This is going to start sinking in, and I suspect it's going to have some momentum.